Hey everybody, it's Shawn Casemore here with a brand new live stream video, really to talk about my newest book, The Unstoppable Sales Prospecting System. Now, I wanted to start today sharing with you why I wrote this book. I mean, of all the books, why a book on prospecting? Well, there's about four different reasons why I wanted to share this with you today. And most importantly, there's some specific changes. I don't want to say challenges, changes that are happening that you need to be aware of if you're in sales. And this book really talks about how to address them, but let's share those right now. First off, prospects and how they buy has changed. Since COVID, so in the last 5 years, as of the time of this recording, many prospects have changed how they search for and select the products or services that they're buying. Obviously, more and more of that is going online, but the problem becomes this. They're spending a lot of time doing research and less time engaging with sales professionals. Studies have found this repeatedly, and that trend continues. I think we can both agree that when it comes to making a buy decision, more and more of our time is spent doing our own research rather than relying on the salesperson. So what does that mean from a sales perspective? Well, it's increasingly difficult to get the attention of a prospect. And once you get that attention, you've got to have strategies and ways by which you retain that attention so that you can get the sales conversation started to start to formulate the opportunity. In this book, I share the steps to do so. I talk about different channels and methods in which you can use to reach out and why using different channels are important. And one thing I wanted to share with you right now is this, that when it comes to reaching out, how you're reaching out, it's not a volume game. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Outreach to prospects is not a volume game. Sales is a numbers game. Absolutely. The more people you have conversations with, the more opportunities that you can generate. But if you're just reaching out via email, as an example, cold, and you're just amping up your volume because it's increasingly difficult to get a hold of somebody, you may be doing more damage to your reputation than good. So in the book, I talk about different ways and strategies you can use in order to take a different path, if you will, than what many sales professionals are doing, why you should do that, how to do it, and the results you can expect. The second thing I want to share with you as to why I wrote this book is that AI is changing sales. Now, I'm not here to suggest that AI is taking over sales roles. However, AI is increasingly a tool for sales professionals. And if you're in a complex sale that it happens over an extended period of time and there's lots of interactions and conversations, AI is a productivity tool that you'll want to be using. In the book, I share the different strategies and methods and ways, as of this writing at least, that you can use AI. I realize that it's continuing to change, but we do discuss how AI can be a productivity tool that can put you one up, if you will, on your competition. The other thing to mention is that when it comes to prospects that you're dealing with, getting conversations started is a challenge, right? It's never been more difficult, not only to get attention, to get a response to your outreach, but to actually get a conversation started. Why? Well, prospects, again, are doing their own research. They're coming to the table oftentimes already being knowledgeable. So for us to think that, hey, let me educate you on my product or service is the wrong approach. If they're talking to you, in most cases, they've already researched your product. They've looked at your website. They've checked out other sites, other documentation, other information, and now they want to hear what you have to say. And therein lies one of the challenges, that when you come to the table, if you say what everybody else says, guess what? Now you're in a situation where you sound like every other salesperson. Is that going to help you when it comes to differentiating yourself? Not really. So in the book, I discuss how to differentiate, how to set yourself apart. We even discuss the idea of creating an experience for your prospect. You know, for years, we've heard about customer experience. That's very important because if you want to retain customers, upsell, cross-sell, resell, you got to have a great customer experience. However, you also need to make sure that with a prospect, there's an experience they have, and it needs to be very different than anything they receive from anybody else they connect with or speak to. So the book defines exactly how to lay that experience out. There's one last thing I want to share with you, which is one of the main reasons I wrote this book. Salespeople today, in my experience, many are struggling. They're finding it increasingly challenging for all the reasons that I've mentioned. Harder to reach prospects, harder to get conversations going, harder to keep those conversations going. There's the number of objections seems to be about the same as it's always been. It's just harder to get to a point of receiving an objection. So what I wanted to do was put together a resource that I have the benefit of putting together. And the reason I say that is because I travel the world working with sales teams globally. In the last 6 months, I've been in South Africa, Australia, the UK, obviously United States, Canada, and beyond. So I'm working with sales teams globally, and I can see what is working and what is not. That's the luxury I have. But then the question is, how can I bring that to you? How can I bring that to the sales professional who is struggling? Or even if you're not struggling and you're already doing very well, but you're always looking for what's that next tip? What's that next strategy? That is why I wrote this book. So the Unstoppable Sales Prospecting System is out now, early days, on Amazon. Feel free to grab a copy. Barnes & Noble, all great places books are sold. And over the next several weeks, I'm going to share with you specific strategies from the book that you'll be able to put into practice immediately. So hope you've enjoyed this live stream. There'll be many more to come. If you've got any questions or comments for me, you can always reach out, info@ShawnCasemore.com. And until next time, let's get out there and go sell something. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.